today have been billed as a fiery lecture on why it is time to turn around America. And I'm certainly going to try and live up to your expectations. But I also want you to know a little bit about who I am and where I'm coming from. I'm the son of Irish Catholic immigrants, born in the Bronx. My mother was a domestic worker for wealthy families on the Upper East Side of New York City. She didn't have a union. She worked long hours for very low pay. My father was a New York City bus driver, fortunately a union member, a member of Local 100 of the Transport Workers Union, whose president was the legendary Mike Quill. I grew up going to union meetings with my father and getting involved at a very young age in so many different activities as a volunteer. In our little apartment in the Bronx, three things were paramount: our family, our church, and my father's union. We knew that without our family, there would be no love. That without the church, there would be no hope of redemption. And that without the union, there would be no food on the table. With my father's union membership came decent wages, health insurance, a small pension, and it helped me and my two sisters and brother go to college and lift ourselves up into a middle-class world my parents could only have imagined. I worked my way through Iona College, where the brothers and professors there taught me that economic and social justice are the goals we must all fight for, and that's what drew me into the labor movement. So you can understand I can get pretty angry when I talk about the situation of working families today. For so many families, the American dream is a fading hope. And if we don't take control and turn our country around, we'll all be living out differing versions of the American nightmare. People are worried to death about the economy, tired of spending too many hours on the job for too little pay, distrustful of our government. Students are worried about earning a degree without being in hock for the rest of their lives. And for the first time in generations, parents are rightfully worried that their children will end up less well off than they are. It's a real reversal of the experience of tens of millions of parents like my own. Our country is headed in the wrong direction, and if we don't get busy turning it around, starting this fall, we may not have another chance, and that's not a chance I'm willing to take. As you'll hear, I'm no fan of the presidency of George Bush, but it's important to realize this anguish for working families wasn't created overnight. Our economy has been heading in the wrong direction for more than 30 years. Over the last 3 decades, workers' productivity increased by about 75%, but workers' wages are frozen right where they were in 1973. We're stuck with the widest income and wealth gap of any industrialized nation. Working families have maintained household incomes and middle-class lifestyles by taking on multiple jobs, sending more family members into the workforce, and unfortunately, relying on their credit cards. Last year, even household income declined, and many families had to draw down equity in their homes to make ends meet, exacerbating our housing and credit crisis. Where did all the dough go? It went into swollen corporate profits, skyrocketing CEO salaries. Pocketbooks of the middle class and the poor were pinched. Several years back, one of our most prominent economic writers called it the greatest transfer of wealth without a revolution in history. When George W. Bush moved into the White House, he shifted our descent into inequality into overdrive. During his time at the wheel, we've lost more than 3 million good manufacturing jobs. Good jobs like those we lost here at Sparrows Point. Jobs we hope to recover only because of the impending purchase of the plant by a Russian steelmaker. Bush's watch, poverty has increased 25%. The price of gasoline has risen from $1 a gallon to $3 a gallon and is sure to make $4, a price our president wasn't able to comprehend. Now our nation is almost as squeezed as working families themselves, financing tax breaks for the wealthy, a war that's costing us $12 billion a month, yet neglecting the priorities of our people. It's shameful. Nowhere is the damage to our society more evident than in healthcare, and the threat to our country and our way of life is so big and so dangerous that it compels us to work together with great urgency. The numbers are awful. 47 million Americans have no health insurance at all. Nearly 9 million of them children. The sharpest climb in the uninsured is among middle-income workers, those making between $18,000 and $55,000 a year. And for those who have insurance coverage, the rising cost of premiums and increasing deductibles and co-pays are eating away at paychecks and family budgets. Our infant mortality and life expectancy rates compare miserably with those of other industrialized nations. Millions of Americans have to choose daily between food, shelter, prescription drugs, and visits to the doctor. The AFL-CIO just completed a massive survey of nearly 27,000 people, most of whom have insurance. And a third of them said they skipped the medical care they need because of the cost. Our healthcare system leaves out millions of families who go to bed every night praying that they don't get hit with a medical emergency that will wipe out their savings. And it's happening in the richest country in the world. My friends, healthcare should be a right, not No one should be left out. No one should go without health care. No one. This year, the people who set us on this course have steered us into a massive housing collapse, a mortgage foreclosure crisis, and a deepening recession. But this time they've gone too far, and the financial scandals and the dramatic downturn in our economy are stirring a nationwide call for changes. Voters are realizing we weren't put in this bind by accident or the hand of fate or the will of God. We were put here by the people we elected to office. It has been sometimes nonpartisan affair, and they have betrayed our trust. Voters are learning we were shoved into this direction by laws and policies created by corporations and politicians to push down wages and push up profits. Deregulation of basic industries so consumers can be victimized and shareholders shortchanged. Downsizing government so vital services can be contracted out to profit-driven companies. Rules governing globalization written by corporations to favor corporations, pitting workers against workers for minimum wages and maximum profits. It must, at long last, be morning in America because middle-class people are waking up and realizing not only the dire predicament we're in, but who put us there, and their anger and frustration are what's driving the monster voter turnouts we're seeing in the Democratic primaries.